Welcome to Triple M NRL Daily on your Thursday, which means we've got two of my absolute favourites, the one and only Luke Keary and Josh Grubby Reynolds. How are you, boys?
Good, mate. How are you?
Mate, I'm going
What's happening?
fantastic.
I've spent the whole morning listening to James Graham's top 99. And some of the takes are actually unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate. Jacob Preston, your boy, Grubby, he had Helam Lukey ahead of Jacob Preston.
Yeah, look, I'm just going to say one word. He's a flip.
Yeah.
That's probably the only way to describe him because how Presto's one of the elite back rollers of the competition now. And look, Luke, he's got plenty to give, but I think we were saying before, he's only had a few games and Presto went on the kangaroo tour. But look, that's an opinion. That's fine. But this is where I question him in his little suit, his little green suit or blazer, whatever he's wearing. Correct me if I'm wrong. He had Connor Watson at number 98 and number 56.
He did.
So
he did.
That's a big difference, James.
Yeah, in 1 week, mate, a lot changed. He had a really good game against Manly, Connor Watson. He also, mate, he had Nico Hines twice as well already. And we're only 50 names in. He's repeated 2 names.
Did someone fact check this? Did he send it through an email?
The issue is,
is that your fault?
It's kind of my fault because I did the podcast with him and I didn't pick up on it either time. But he hand wrote the list. So it's like, he's just then we're like, he's like, oh, I don't want to show you guys, I want your natural reaction for it all. And then so we haven't seen it. And I've just forgotten everything that he said. But, you know, we'll correct him in the next episode.
What? Sorry, did he handwrite the list?
He hand wrote the list, yeah. Hand wrote the list. Yeah.
He's got some time.
Yeah, mate, he took about 3 weeks to put this list together. We should say it's all thanks to Maccas as well, because Maccas major partner of Triple M NRL. So thank you to Maccas.
Yeah, like... when I was thinking, the one thing I will say, it's a good effort because that's a lot of work. Yeah. Like it was giving me, I was being anxious looking at it. Going, mate, how much work do you have to put in? But
yeah, mate, we're doing the top 99 of all time as well later in the year.
Oh gosh,
which is going to be that's hard.
That's harder.
Yeah, way harder. Yeah, way harder.
Who's he going to throw in? He'll throw in someone 3 times for that one.
Well, mate, I wonder if you two will be in it. Josh Reynolds, Luke Keary, where you guys will be. No, he'll be a chance. Surely. If you want to watch this show, if you're listening now and you're like, oh, I want to see these boys' beautiful faces, search Triple M NRL on YouTube. Subscribe to the brand new YouTube channel. It's doing really well, guys. It's picking up. They love you too. But they don't love Reedy all the time. And one of the comments we got was from @That'sMyName, who said, I wish Isaac Moses managed me so Reedy could talk me up.
Who's he been tossing up this week?
Siebes, mate. He's been saying that Siebes was hard done by. He also said this same guy, rugby league is stuck in the dark ages. In any other professional sport, Siebert would have been sacked. Like Stuart McGill said, move on. How do you bounce back, though, if you're Manly? Coach has gone mid-season. Like, they're in action tonight against the Dolphins. Like, how do they regroup?
Grubby, did you ever have a coach sacked when you were playing?
I did. When I first come in, Kevin Moore got sacked and Jimmy Dimmick come in. And that's actually how I got my debut.
Oh, wow.
Because, legit. So Kevin was
how
there.
Long into the year?
There was 10 games to go.
Okay.
So, the Dogs obviously weren't where they wanted to be. No, I actually wasn't a part of it. And then all of a sudden, it's funny, and this is what happens, right? And this is why it's a bit scary for players. You know, for me, it worked the other way, but I wasn't in Kevy's plans. But Jimmy obviously backed me, and it did help that he's a good mate of my dad's. But we won't talk about that. No, I'm joking. But it was an interesting time. We actually were going. The boys were going to Tilburg all year. And I think we won 8 out of 10 the last 10. But I think all I know is what Jimmy done was he stripped it right back. He stripped everything right back, and we just went back to the basic structures, get rid of all the noise, get rid of everything else that's going on around. And I just think doing that just makes people focus on the little things, the little things that you're good at, because sometimes, well, for an example, it worked, like Manly shifting the ball straight off. That's a bit of a trick play, and that's maybe the way they're thinking, and that's maybe the way Siebes was looking. That's one thing I think Manly are getting it wrong. You sort of got Paseka that's making a little dent in them, but then they're looking to shift straight away. I feel you need someone like Hetherington to bash another one in there and then look to go there. But one thing I'd love to see from Foz and just his interactions with Jamal. I don't know what the connection is. Foz is, I think he's the spine coach. He was the spine coach, but I just love Foz to have a little bit of one-on-one time with Jamal, just to speak to him about opening up a little bit more space for people. Jamal's great kicking game. He's very relaxed, very controlled, can get you to spots on the field. But I'd just love to see him do a little bit more in, engaging the defence. He's a bit different in Canberra because in Canberra he has weapons everywhere. All he had to do was feed his outsides backs in Timoko and Strange, whereas a little bit different here at Manly. So maybe that's the influence Foz can have. But everything we hear, boys, and I've played against Foz and know him off the field. You can hear the boys want to play for him already. But that's the person he is. It's going to become very hard if they lose again, and Foz has got to make some big calls. Everything changes then. But I hope he goes really well. It's very, very early for him. Mate, I'd say I'm hat off to him. There's no way I'm doing that. If I'm in this, there's not. I'd say no.
Even if the dogs rang you.
Yeah. No, because I'm not. I wouldn't be the right guy for the job. I'm not confident in that arena. I don't want to be a coach. Foz obviously did, but it's still very early, and it is. That's just him, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
he takes everything on. He always has in his career. He's had ups, he's had downs. So I honestly wish him all the best. But it'll be a interesting night, to see how they do respond.
Yeah, I was lucky. I had Madge and then Robbo, so I was at two really stable clubs. But then last year with the French side, when I got to the club, the elephant was in the room. Right, everyone was talking about it was nearly time to move on from him, and that affects the group. It seeps in. I forget who spoke about it yesterday. Someone spoke about it yesterday, and they said about St. George, they can't let the noise seep in because then the players end up waiting for the coach to get punted, and subconsciously, the players will never not try, but subconsciously, it's coming to the end, and you start dropping off on a few errors. So, guaranteed, we see a better performance from them. Not that they were diabolical against the Roosters; they had a lot of effort there, but. I agree with you, Grub. He's going to strip it back into, boys, run hard, get up, play the ball, and tackle harder than the opposition and kick chase. That's literally as complicated as it gets. They won't be shifting ridiculously out of yardage. I agree with you on the Fogarty call. He's got Hamoli there, who's been quiet to start the year. And although the results weren't great last year with Ches there, he opened Hamoli up. Hamoli played some really good footy on that right edge. They need more from Fogarty. I think Luke Brooks is trying really hard, but it's a little bit like Lockie at the door. He's running a lot and trying to do a lot of things, but not a lot of great things. So I think we'll see a reaction. But like you said, I don't know if they've got the troops there to just start winning again and make a run at it. And when the losses keep coming, if they do, then the heat comes back on again. He's going to have to make some tough decisions. I applaud him for stepping into it because it is you finished 6 months ago, just to walk into a job like that is going to be so difficult. But he'll get a reaction out of him. He's going to learn a hell of a lot. I don't think he's got anything to lose from this. Even if it goes bad, he's going to learn so much about himself. He easily steps back into an assist role. If he goes great, there's obviously opportunities there. They're running into a decent side too. I thought the Dolphins were good without being great against Brisbane, and then they were really good against Sharks, and you can tell Christian Wolf's starting to implement some of his stuff defensively. They've improved a lot to start this season, so it's going to be a really interesting game. They are going to come out of the blocks 100 miles an hour, Manly tonight.
Yeah, and the Dolphins will know that, but it's just about weathering that first storm, and then you start seeing the cracks. If you can get through that first 20, because things don't just go away in a week. Little bad habits, like you said, that they're dropping off because they knew Seas might have been going, and they can creep back in. But it's up to Manly to, I suppose, rectify those. But interesting time for Manly, isn't it? It's you can hear from all King, Jason King, a lot of ex-players. They want someone Manly in there. I heard Freddie. I don't know if you boys seen it. I think it was on the Sunday Footy Show. A really stern, direct question at Jason King saying, your juniors are terrible. No, all he said was in 6 years, Freddie must have had the facts.
Yeah.
Manly haven't made the semis or nothing in a long time in any of them. He said right now your best position's 6, and you got to get your pathways right because that's the thing, right? Away from the Travojevic brothers, you haven't really heard anyone coming through. So it's a very interesting time. You got a coach change. You got to so much going on at the club. They literally need to make some big decisions to move in a better direction.
It's interesting you say that because obviously I've only got a small involvement at the Roosters, but I get to see what they're doing in the part. And I was there when they started the academy, and we've watched what Penrith's done. Perth comes into the competition, PNG, if you don't have an academy, you don't have the junior pathways set up properly with professional coaches or ex-players there, you are falling so far behind. If your recruitment's not set up properly with a full team of people around, I'm going to say it, around Australia now and New Zealand, it becomes very difficult. The landscape has changed dramatically since COVID on how you recruit players, the competitive. It's not just like, hey, Josh grew up in Belmore, he's a... No. These guys, they'll be all over kids at 14, 15, 16 trying to pull them in. There's a rugby stuff now. It is so competitive. And if you don't have it set up properly, if you don't have an attractive pathway system, if you don't have... And Manly have... I'll give them credit. They've brought Lockie Croker, Brad Parker. I think Cooper Johns is there too, coaching the SG ball team. They got some really good young kids playing in that team. Like, you've got to get these ex-players back in. You've got to get coaches who are going to coach these kids and ways to entice kids into your program that differentiates yourself. And Penrith were the first to do it, and they're reaping the rewards of it. So it's interesting you say that. I don't know anything about their pathways or recruitment, but if you aren't sorted in that area, it's going to become very, very difficult.
Well, it's okay for everyone else in the NRL, but if you're the Roosters, you just buy everyone.
Yeah,
anyway,
you
so
buy
it's
whoever you
fine.
want.
Yeah.
Set up,
Yeah.
Set up an academy over there.
I'm sure it's going gangbusters. Yeah, funded really well. No early payments to young players. I'm sure none of that stuff goes on. The Dolphins, just let's deep dive on them a little bit. A lot of people had them as genuine contenders coming in. Have you boys seen enough, or are they still missing something to be a true contender?
Yeah, they're not there yet. Like they'd admit that themselves. They're not there yet. We'll call it. Well, there's a poor start to the season. Round one, round two against the Titans, they were average. Hammer probably got the job done himself, and then they turned the corner against the Cronulla Sharks purely defensively. I watched that game closely. I called it with Emma. Oh, we called it together, Grubby, with Emma, and it was hard at the start to watch because Cronulla were flat coming off Penrith, and the Dolphins were just like, oh, what are we doing here? They'd obviously been drilled down on defence and ended up paying off for them. So they're going to be on a journey this year, and they could get there. They could get to the point where they become genuine contenders, but it's going to be a journey for them. It's not going to just be. And everyone said it like, oh, Dolphins will take the next step next year and be on the edge of the forward. It just doesn't work like that. It's a new season. It starts again. Like, we can't say Isaiah Katoa's just going to get better next year. He'll get better than it. It doesn't work. You just don't get better and better and better. You have different setbacks and adversities and things like that. So they have the squad. On paper, they have the squad to be there. It's just going to be a journey. And it honestly probably depends on Christian Wolf and how he navigates them through the season, navigates those young guys and gets the best out of the pack, because that pack it can be one of the better ones in the competition.
I feel with the Dolphins, they're so naturally talented offensively that they don't have to really worry about that. Like the way they run shape and the spine, understanding Cody Nikorima and Katoa's combination is one of the best in the game, just because Nikorima understands exactly what Katoa's doing and why he's going and his tempo. Like, if you played with Katoa the way he does it, he does the stop, the start, it's actually hard at the back to be like, mate, when do I throttle and when do I go? But they understand who they're getting to, why they're getting to certain people. I actually think Katoa this year is like you said, everyone's expecting him to go bang. I think he's worried about his king game a lot. I think he's trying to sort of set up his kicks a lot more than last year, whereas last year he was a lot more flowy and he was sort of worried about his run. But that'll come. But I'm with you. I was high on the Dolphins, and I still think they're going to be thereabouts. But there's something missing at stages. Like
just that extra ruthless. I think it's an extra.
Is it like the little things like, like when we watch Penrith, right? We watch Penrith in attack and they're great. But then in defence as well, it's not even just the reads. It's the little things like every kick chase is a proper kick chase. All those little areas where they're so used to it, they've embedded habits in that team. I just don't know if the Dolphins have that. And that's tough footy. That's semi-final stuff.
It's the journey that they'll go on. They try to find out. The Katoa things, the Katoa point you brought up is good, because if I'm videoing against the Dolphins right now, I'm going, okay, they got really good outside backs. We need to control Herbie over on our right, but most of my attention is on Isaiah and how we can limit his involvement of the game. And a lot of teams, a lot of their prep would just be on him and Hammer.
Mhm.
And then obviously the OBs, it's kind of a battle out there,
Yeah.
but a lot of that prep would be on how do we limit him, and that's it's going to be a good test for him of how he overcomes that. He had such a great season last year. He's going to be he is a great player, but there's going to be a lot more. Well, there is a lot more attention on him.
Who do you like in this game? Both going Dolphins?
Yeah. I just think they're too strong.
Yeah. I think
Dolphins.
Manly they're going to be up for it, obviously. It won't be a blowout by any means.
Yeah. Then Friday night, the early game on Friday, the Good Friday clash. You're going to be there, I assume, Grubby.
What a game.
Dogs, Rabbitohs. Did you two both play in 2015?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
That
laughing
Friday?
at him. I remember laughing at him on the
Absolute bollocks.
Yeah.
But that's one time I'll stick up for that bloke. James Green.
What do you mean?
He's just, mate.
Jumped at his didn't he do he did his MCL?
Oh, no.
Nah,
he
he
guys
didn't.
pretended.
He didn't do
He
his-
pretended he did his MCL.
He was out for 4 weeks
No,
after.
Reno
I think he
done
missed
that.
1 week.
It was worse
4
than what
weeks.
No, I think he missed 1 week, and then you said 4 weeks. Jimmy then got suspended, and then he played the week later.
Are you sure?
He only
sure, yeah.
didn't play that next week because he couldn't have. Like he had to play because if he didn't, Reedy would have been after him.
Have you fact checked this?
I'll double check during the ad break.
Because
But
I remember I had to play halfback,
yeah,
which ruined me.
mate,
And
they were
Greg had to play 5'8".
they were saying he was going to get his leg amputated. You guys and the Bunnies.
Yeah, like it was. It was.
I thought it was
disgrace.
really bad. No, from memory, he was out for at least a month.
I'll pull this up while you guys chat. But what a
I don't know.
what a
You won't
game.
be able to find it.
No, I'll be able to find it.
Honestly though,
Don't bother.
what about the experience? Yeah, so you know. What about the experience? Like that is.
Yeah,
If you haven't played in any big games, it's a big game. What did they have last year at the game? 50 odd?
55, yeah.
yeah. So it was my
Ridiculous.
favourite game, and then the only thing that surpassed it as a club game's been Anzac Day for me. But that Good Friday clash is it's a special one.
So that even when you used to play Chooks or
Oh,
other way,
yeah,
when
yeah.
you were at the Chooks
Nah.
and Rabbits,
Yeah, they were big, but in terms of like occasions, that Good Friday one was the one.
just great. It's always hot. It's always like a sunny day
Yeah,
usually.
always day footy
Great
too.
conditions. Everyone comes over from the Easter show.
Yeah, it's a good occasion, and it's actually going to be a really good test. The Dogs obviously been put under the pump a little bit more this week, which is odd because they won. They've had 2 really good wins, had the bye. They defensively looked strong until last week, and South's coming off the bye. Wayne hasn't been happy with them, but they've shown signs that they're going to be a decent footy side this year.
Yeah, it's a big game for the Dogs.
You check it?
Yeah, he missed 3 weeks.
I told you, he jumped at his
But
MCL.
I think you did a statement at the time, and it was like, oh, he's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
serious injury.
yeah, but
There was some carry on.
Yeah, it was a lot of carry on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Well, I
carry
didn't carry on
What's
that.
that
I
today if
actually didn't
someone
carry on
dives
that
at the-
day.
It's a penalty.
Nothing.
Well, no, Zach Hosking, he got a penalty.
You know what it
Yeah,
is?
but dived at the MCL.
You know what it is?
Boys, he didn't just touch him after he
You know what the
kicked it.
refs do now? That's what they do. That's all they do.
I'm going in the bat for the South fans here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You never stick up for South.
I do.
No,
you
you
never
don't.
do.
The
You're Roosters.
Borough dislikes you.
Whose home game is it this week?
Bunnies.
Ours.
Ours. Wow. They've disowned you, mate.
Ours.
Like the Tigers with me. They've wiped me. But it is a big game. It's a big game for the Dogs, man. There's always chat about the Dogs, man, every week. But
How good is it?
Nah, it's unwarranted at times.
Oh, you don't want people talking about you?
Nah, like not as much as it happens. It happens
You're
every
one of the
week.
biggest club in
No,
Sydney.
I agree, but it's at times you just feel, mate. There's people going, there's clubs going way worse off, and we just always cop it. But look, hey, we don't care.
They do
We'll
care.
deal with it.
They care.
I care, but I'm done. I don't play anymore. No, but I will say for the first time in a very long time, well, at least 2 years, the Dogs were out enthused in all the little areas that they win games on, and that's very rare. Like the Newcastle just punched them in the face,
Mm.
and that's rare. Like just the little things, and
I don't think they were expecting the type of footy that Justin came with. They shifted midfield a lot. I spoke to Sandon and Fletcher Sharp. They both said we're not gonna get into a grind with them because they're probably the second best team behind Penrith at it, and they couldn't handle them on the edges, which is a bit odd for a Bulldogs side who are very, very good defensively.
especially left edge.
Yeah, left edge with Stephen Crichton there. Oh, I've got a sneaking suspicion Burton was injured because I watched him on that first try. Dom Young ran down. He tried to chase him, but he couldn't run back. He was literally hobbling back. I think that was a part of the movement around. But that movement and the constant changing has it caused people to talk like it's It is a talking point.
Yeah.
What do you think it should look like? What do you think's the best option for them?
Right now?
Right now and moving forward.
So obviously Lockie's playing 7 right now. And we're going to talk about this a bit later, like, you know, the halves, sixes turning into 7s. Or trying to turn into 7s. It's one of the hardest things to do. I don't care who you are. And people don't understand how hard it is unless you've done it. We're probably
Who's done it?
Properly?
Yep. Successfully.
Jerome, but he's not even Jerome Hughes, but he's a fullback. I suppose
he was a fullback.
But like it's
Cooper did it there. I think he was a centre in reserve grade.
Yeah,
So
crazy.
They're an anomaly. We've spoken about Melbourne as.
It's just it's ridiculously like it's just so different.
I'm
And
just trying to think of a 5'8"
I don't think there is
in the game, like a genuine
Did Sean
5'8".
Johnson started as 5'8"?
I think he was a number
Yeah.
7. I think he was a number 7.
Yeah.
But it's probably a good comparison the way he because he
Yeah.
used to just be sort of like Benji style, didn't he? Like when he first started. But yeah, he turned into a fairly
Game
good
managing
controlling
7,
game
yeah.
managing 7. But like that's actually I was going to bring up a point. Like I would like to know the success record of genuinely doing it and someone going really well. Because we're looking at a few of them right now. You know, Jerome Luai tried, didn't succeed. You got Atkinson at the Dragons. I don't think he's
not
working.
yet.
Like-
there's signs there
Mm.
that
But
I've
he
seen
played-
with him that I like, but he's like Flano said, he's played 20 games.
Producer Joel's just sent one through. Luke Metcalf.
That is a very good point.
He worked.
But for one season,
Yeah.
and he's playing 5'8" right now with 10 of theirs.
It's just so what it is
Make
right.
us look like an idiot.
Yeah. No, that's why they're there. That's why they're there, the boys.
No, but it's just like I think he plays 6 for the rest of the year.
Dearden.
Hasn't.
I wouldn't say
worked yet.
he's no.
Okay.
He's on his way
Maroon's halfback.
Yeah,
for
but
1 game, 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at Dearden and in the comparison of just like little things like game management, taking full control of a game compared to like Nathan.
Andrew John spoke about it in the coverage on the Canberra Cronulla game on the weekend. This same thing, and Gus was like, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters. I heard
That's
that.
interesting coming from Gus, who's at the Dogs during this situation. I don't know if he has a say in any of that, but it's interesting that Gus was saying he doesn't matter, and Joey was saying, like, if you listen to the coverage, it was really like Joey was trying to explain, mate, it matters what I think he was talking about Nico and Trindle.
Yep.
Saying about how it matters psychologically. I went through it. I went through it. Won 3 premierships as a 5'8". Cooper left. Kyle was there, but then after that tried to transition. Sorry, Josh.
3 premierships, not one,
Just
not
to
2.
let you know.
It was 3.
But I just
Clive Churchill. I think it was Clive
No,
Churchill.
it was difficult to make that transition.
Yeah.
It was just like it was so foreign and like goes against everything that you built your game on as a 5'8". You've got to literally strip it back to thinking about end of sets and where you are and other things. And then even the support. Like my thing with Jerome Luai is I think he could do it, and he may do it in the future. But you also then need to put a 6 with him that's going to help him, not just a random guy. And Jerome's got to carry the load for both of them. It's a bit of a partnership, but it's an interesting one. Can you answer your question, please? What's their best option right now and going forward?
Don't do your eyes. No, but
Sorry,
I'm not even like okay. So I'm happy to leave it as it is, and I'm that's just me being brutally honest with you because it is hard, but I don't think Lockie can't do it from what I've seen. But at the same time, like you said, it's going to take time. You know, you got everyone's calling for Sean O'Sullivan to come in. That might be a play. He had him on the bench last week through minute at times, but honestly,
Yeah.
I would like you can't just. I know, like you said, things aren't going as bad as what everyone thinks. The Dogs win games off the back of their defense. They got to get back into that mindset first, and then all the other stuff will come. Or the one play, boys, that makes me really confident in this spine. Last play in Canberra, game on the line. The Bailey Hayward connection with the dummy to Birdo inside of Connor Tracy, 4 of them in the picture. That's just a spine on the same page. So that gives me hope. And look, everyone might think I'm crazy. Everyone might think, no, honestly, like people. But I'm there, and like I have conversations with people about, what it's going to look like, and I'm happy with it. But and I get it though. The fans think they know exactly what's going on. Sometimes they don't. They just give them a bit of time. But
saying the Bulldogs fans don't know what's going on.
No, not the Bulldogs. I'm talking about South. But honestly, like just back to the mate, like you said, to go from a 16, you got to break habits that you've been doing since you were a kid. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You got to break habits, like you said. Your mindset of your kicking mindset goes from 30-70, I'd say, as a 5'8" to 70-30. That's something huge. So look, I'm leaving it as it is right now for me.
Have you heard the whispers that O'Sullivan might actually be getting the halfback spot this weekend?
Just from him before.
I didn't whisper it.
He did.
You've heard it, have you?
No, I think he's a chance. I think that
he's already he's sort of like
listen,
a journo
listen,
already.
Yeah,
Of course, isn't he?
Him and Woodsy similar.
I don't do.
me and Woodsy just
I don't
run our
do
own
Goss.
race.
Yeah.
I don't
Wait,
do
this
Goss.
is not Goss.
You do facts.
It's Goss.
Goss.
You're a Goss. You deserve to be
You're a
Daily Mail or
you know
something.
what?
Yeah. Play, hasn't he?
I think you're right. I think the best option's M2 at the moment, but I also think they'll look really good with Burton at left centre and Stephen at right. Like I still think Burton and Galvin are the best option, but I think they actually look good with them two in the centres as genuine both strike centres. Stephen was very good at right centre last year. We all know what Matt Burton can do in the centres, so I don't think that's blowing it up at all. I think they're still a really, really good team with them two at centre. I think it might even add a little bit more to them out wide, as in they both can beat their centres one-on-one. They both can create. We all know what Sean's going to. Sean will just bring a nice square, composed. Lockie had 17 runs on the weekend. He'll be able to probably touch the ball less. He had 79 touches. Thanks,
Random stats guy.
He may have 50 touches with Sean there.
Yeah.
He probably has another 70 with Burton there.
Yeah.
Depends on what you want for your team.
Based on Grubb's
Let's not
deflection of that question, take it as gospel. Sean O'Sullivan will be the 7 this weekend.
Is he the 7 this weekend?
I would have not a clue. I haven't been.
Please.
Actually, I was just about to say.
He's at training every day.
I was just about to say I haven't been to Bulldogs this week, but then they'd know that, so I have been. But no, I promise you, from the bottom of my little heart, I would have an absolute clue. You seem to know a bit more than me.
I don't know anything.
He's the gossiper.
Yeah, he's the gossiper.
I don't know anything.
Luke, the gossiper Keary.
That's a new nickname.
Wouldn't have a clue.
I'm guessing you're tipping South and you're tipping the Dogs?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you going Dogs, Keary?
He wants Dogs. He knows.
He
knows there's going to be a
I
response.
think South's off the bye.
No.
Oh, there will be a response. Wayne hasn't been happy.
Cranky Wayne is not a good Wayne.
I just think he knows that he's got a good team there and he needs them to go. And this is a big test. They were 2 weeks to prepare for this.
Now, boys, I want to quickly talk to you about Nathan Cleary. He was on Hello Sport a couple of weeks ago and he spoke about his favourite play ever, a favourite bit of shape that Penrith have ever run. And basically the play was Api Coruscant jumps in a dummy half, takes a run close to the line. Nathan Cleary then goes to dummy half and no one expects anything out of the ordinary. But all week they'd basically been thinking that Josh Adokar likes to defend in. But Nathan Cleary jumps in dummy half, puts the kick from dummy half over to the winger, scores in the corner. It's his favourite play he's ever done. Have you guys got a favourite play?
I think he stole that from the Roosters.
Please.
Have you done that before?
No, we did it with Teddy, yeah. On Josh Adokar in Melbourne.
See, this is a typical Roosters chat. Nathan Cleary, one of the possible best halfbacks ever to play the game, stole it off Luke Keary.
Not on me.
Luke Keary.
I didn't do it.
Yes. He's going red.
Justin Holbrook.
You still have Justin Holbrook.
They would have.
Yeah, right. So Justin Holbrook's like, wait, in 2021, he would have been coaching the Titans at that point.
Whatever year it was.
Nah, you're full of shit. What's your favourite play?
I've got a new nickname for this bloke.
I think it was Matty Cavalli, maybe.
Gossip.
Go.
Showtime, Cleary. Like, it's showtime, this bloke.
Do you play? The one where Cooper runs to the line, Hoffman out ball, Billy Slater off his hip, 2012 grand final.
No, we're talking about my plays, not getting done, you goober.
Right,
okay. No, it's a very simple play, but it'd work for me because my initial instinct always was to go a little bit sideways, never go straight stuff that. But obviously, I used to use James Graham, because he was such a good ball player and could play nice and square. He was like having a half. So obviously, you're doing that on the back rower. He gets enticed in that sort of lead runner, and I just go directly sideways and just the double drop. But because the back rower's got to come in so much and then chase hard, I felt I just, you feel people coming, and I just felt I had the real good knack of feeling if I was going to get done, and then I'd drop it, and then it'd be a nice little drop play for Josh Jackson. Scored many tries off it, Josh. He didn't, or I would feel them not coming, and I could get on the outside of the half and then just sort of hands it. So it was a very simple play, but that was just something that, because I just used the good ball players we had up front, and I just felt most comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times where it didn't work. Jimmy Dimmick used to love it, right? He called it. Once I done it in a Warriors game. Not sure who the centre was, right? But I know that the winger was Manu Vanavai, right? So I've done, instead of just doing a one drop of the back rower, I'd done the double drop of the centre, but I didn't give it to him either.
And
Manu jammed me.
Oh, no.
I've just thrown it over the top. Jimmy called it the albatross because it's like a triple drop. It's one of the most ridiculous plays ever. But not as good as the Luke Keary, Nathan Cleary one. But that's just something I used to.
I think it was Teddy that kicked it.
Teddy that kicked it.
I don't have one. I used to just play normal, boring footy, Josh.
I don't know. Well, you come up with that play.
Well, there's nothing boring about Friday night, Penrith Storm. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster. No Mitch Kenny, obviously, suspended for this one because of that hip drop tackle. But the Storm haven't lost 3 in a row since 2022, where they lost 4 games. Far out. It's going to be a tough matchup for them.
Yeah, it's very, very. And look, the Storm, as a franchise, rarely lose 3 in a row. Like I can only imagine for a very long time they wouldn't have done it even before this. But I just feel Melbourne at the moment, they've been in front. The best front runners, known best front runners for many years, but for some reason they just can't put teams away at the moment. They get to a certain lead and they just can't go. I suppose one more little knife in the back to finish that game. Where I think they're struggling at the moment is on their edges defensively. They've got some young guys in there. The Melbourne Storm defensive system is very aggressive and very up and in and. Probably goes in saying that play. That's where the Fox got all that sort of up and in defence from Melbourne. And if you're not all on the same page, it's actually quite hard because if you miss a jam by 1 second, you got a good fullback at the back, like the Reece Walshes, and they may make you pay. So I think they're struggling a little bit there. They're obviously missing that, I suppose, that other X factor of Katoa. Just he was a leader in that team. He might not have been the best speaker or that some leaders don't do that, but he was just their go-to guy. You look at that spine in Grant, Munster and Hughes. They're always going to be able to come up with a certain amount of points, but then they needed someone else, and Katoa was that guy. You're also missing Coates, who if it was a terrible set, like you done your whole career, put it on Toops' head and you're a chance. So I just feel that they're missing those little aspects that can't put a team away. And then
they'll look a lot different with Coates there.
Yeah,
because they've struggled.
I'm not sure about round 10.
Yeah,
because 3-month Achilles injury.
They obviously tried to get Zach over there. They knew they were short. Couldn't get him. They've signed. Who have they signed for next year?
Asako.
They've signed Asako, so they know there's an issue there, and they've got Moses Leo there. Tuimalatu Brown at the moment, and they have struggled. They struggled on the left edge there on the weekend. Like Braden Burns probably shouldn't have scored that. Like they were man on there on the edge. He doesn't score that with Coates there. They'll be okay. They'll be fine. I think they are feeling a little bit from last year, losing 2 grand finals in a row. But like I've been watching Jerome Hughes, he's in as good a nick as he ever has been. Like he's running the ball. Harry's outstanding. Munster's been a little bit off, probably by his own admission. He mentioned it a few times post-match. Craig's mentioned it. And then the big loss is Katoa. He was the best back rower in the competition, I believe, last year.
Yeah.
He would have probably got Clive Churchill in the grand final if they won. They're just a little bit off. But it wouldn't surprise me if they go out and win this. Just backs against the wall. Penrith are flying. No one thinks it can be done, and it probably can't be. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Melbourne side just pulled it out because they don't often lose.
How big is Mitch Kenny for the Panthers, just in terms defensively? He sort of sets their line speed, doesn't he?
We've seen last year, when he was out a few times, like they're a different team. And then he comes back. We all think about the Clearys, the Yos, the Edwards, and they're on fire at the moment. But Mitch you hear the players talk about it a lot. That defensive system, obviously now it's at the Dogs, and I know it, I understand it. I played under it for a year. He's the perfect example. Like he's the Nathan Cleary of the defensive system, if that makes sense. Like he sets the tone with line speed, his kick pressure, his kick chase. He just keeps going and going and going, and they'll miss that. They really will. But the way I think if Melbourne are going to win, Munster needs to have a big game, but he needs to be at his unorthodox best.
Yeah.
To break down the Panthers, you need late offloads. Panthers will eat up most shape. Even Melbourne spine running really good shape and everyone being on the same page. You need to mix it up. You need offloads. Sort of how Brisbane scored. Like
Reece Walsh is the one that's been able to break down Penrith.
But even Brisbane's tries against Melbourne,
yeah,
it was like Ricky down a short side, like just like different things. Yeah. Like so, I think that's the way that they can possibly beat Penrith. But for me, the level Penrith are at, boys, is really scary for everyone. And I just. Yeah. I get you've got the feeling. I've got the feeling as well about Melbourne, but I also just look at Penrith and go, I think Melbourne beat anyone else but Penrith this week in the competition.
Yeah, you're probably right. Mitch Kenny's a big loss. He reminds me of Jake Friend. Like Jake didn't do much with the ball, but if we didn't have him defensively, he was our kind of rock in the middle. A lot of hookers, a lot of good hookers. I like that. That's what I like. I know we'll go back here, but I like that about Reid Martin. I thought he was that type of guy for the Dogs last year. Not that they're struggling defensively, I did on the weekend, but those hookers genuinely set the tone for your defence.
They're kind of impossible to hate Penrith as well, aren't they? Like all their team seem like such good blokes as well. They play their game the right way.
They don't really carry on at all.
No, there's no carry on in them. Like even like Milky Jenkins, the emergence of him, like I just love it.
How good is he?
I love everything about Penrith.
That left edge is so unorthodox as well.
Yeah.
But this is it's unbelievable that like they just understand, and I think I've said this on the show before, the ability for Nathan to know when to let them have the ball and go to work, like because Nathan's in full control all the time. You know however many touches he has per set, but then the left edge every time they step up now they either come up with points or a line break.
Yeah.
That's very rare for an edge, but, mate, they're so good to watch.
Big thing for them, the fans seem to be coming to CommBank this year. They had a good crowd at the game against Parramatta. Like last year, at times, the crowds are pretty disappointing for them. And I think the players have openly spoken about how much they've loved the atmosphere this year compared to last year. So Penrith are going to be tough to stop. Some good news on Storm front. David Riccio has just reported that Tui Kamikamica has been discharged from hospital.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously,
it's another one.
Awful news during the week, but great news that he's out of hospital doing a lot better. Let's talk the Dragons. The only change that Shane Flanagan's made basically is to drop Tyrell Sloan. Is that bizarre?
Flanagan, I don't know. He's got a weird relationship with Sloan.
I feel for him, hey.
Oh, he's in, he's out, he's giving him a go at fullback, he's on the wing. He's the only guy that ever gets dropped from the Dragons, isn't it?
Yeah.
I swear, he's probably just going, what do I do with he? But it's
he's on the bench, so.
Yeah, but he's six-man bench.
Run,
but he was started on the wing on the weekend. Yep. Obviously, the other change is King Tongia for Flanagan, but in terms of actually decisional change, that's the only one he's made.
Kez, I'll ask you a question, right? The way I look at the game right now, and it's been the same since we've played. If you front load your energy in the first 20 minutes into all the little things, kick chase, kick pressure, all those little things we speak about at training, and you front load them, you usually get it back at some stage.
Yep.
You do. Is it just me, or do the Saints do this? If you watch the start of the Saints last week, they were on, mate. They were doing all that. Yeah. They were trying hard, all the little effort areas. I just feel they never get repaid. Is that a? I was just thinking about it. I just feel they do put in a lot of work because it's a typical Shane Flanagan side.
That's why I don't think he's under pressure, because you'll watch him and you go, oh, I can see that this is a tough footy team with a good mentality, with a good attitude. They're doing a lot of things right. Let's not beat around the bush. They just lack the class to finish off, right? They had the Titans banked on their line for 20 minutes to start the game and scored one try, and then was about to score the second and threw an intercept. And it goes to 6-all, and then the whole air comes out of the balloon, and all the hard work you just put in for 20 minutes goes to waste. So you can I know the chat has gotten louder this week around them and around Flanagan, but like as an observer, you can see the bones, exactly what you just said you felt. You can see them doing all that stuff, which means they're buying into what the coach is saying. They're working hard at training, but they are. It's just the facts that they lack the class to finish teams off, and they lost a lot of close games last year. They had a chance in the Bulldogs in round one. They had a chance in Melbourne 20-18 with 15 to go. And if you want to play finals footy and you want to contend, you need people that are going to finish those games off. And I think Shane would know. I think he knows it. He's a good enough coach to know it, and it's easier to know it. And then it's hard to actually go out and find people and be able to buy them and fit them in and things like that into your Sally Cup. He knows that's probably the area he needs to fix.
Well, obviously, halves is the conversation. Cole's out now. I think they said minimum maybe like 5 weeks or 4 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Said, yeah, minimum.
3 weeks.
Yeah, minimum.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, if you're Flanagan right now, everyone's calling for Cade Reid. I've heard you give him a rap. What are you doing?
Don't put words in my mouth. No, I'm joking.
No, you've said it.
Yeah, I did on
a show.
No, honestly,
on the
get off the fence,
13,000 shows you're on.
No, honestly,
are you on? What are you doing this weekend, work wise?
9-7 Fox.
Yeah, he's on all of them.
Lican King Tongia. We seen him last year. He's actually not a bad player. Silly young kid. I just feel I watched Reid in the trial, and I know it's a trial. I get it. I understand it. He played against the Newcastle side, which had a lot of their first graders, by the way. And I've spoken to a lot of people that have watched him come through. He is a tough kid, apparently. He competes. We've all seen that. He's got flashes of brilliance in him. We've all seen that. I just feel like they're at a stage where let the kid feel it, let him touch it, let him experience it. You can always put him back if you want. And then he knows what's expected of him. He knows what that game feels like and what he needs to do to get there again. And he can go and work at it all year. Or best case scenario, which happens to some of these young kids that are superstars, he finds a way to get through it. He finds a way to impact the game. He finds a way to be influential. He finds some moments, and boys start believing in him, in that pack, in that team, and those outside backs. And he just goes on his way. So I've heard someone say he had a concussion round one. He's only just come back. I think he had a good game on the weekend.
I've got his stats here if you want him. He had 2 line breaks, 2 line break assists, 2 try assists, 3 tackle breaks, 12 runs for 124 metres, a 40-20, 0 errors.
Yeah, so I'm not too concerned with the stats, but I'm like, he's obviously doing good things there. And I think this will be really hard for Dragons fans, right? 2026, it's not a write-off, but it's going to be obviously a difficult year. But
it's over. They're not making
round one,
Ooh.
that's a huge statement, Charlie. But no, round one, 27, you need to hit the ground running. And if that means playing Cade Reid 3 games this year, 5, 10, and Flano, there's no way in the world he would have thought we're going to chuck him in round 5. But I just feel like you need to taste it, you need to feel it, you need to experience it. And even if he gets put back, he knows what it's like up there.
The perfect scenario now is a 6-man bench. Throw him on the bench. I don't think he's on.
No, he's on 20. He's in jersey number 21 or something like that.
So he could come into that team.
Could come into the
he still
bench,
could.
Yeah.
He could
So I was sort of looking at the
actual 6-man bench, yeah.
But like it's a really good opportunity. I'm not starting him, or I just want to give him little spurts and little, like you said, what did you say, touches and feels. It was a bit weird how he said that.
Very Roosters like.
It's how he said it, eh? Like I was like, what are we talking? This is a G-rated podcast, mate. It's just I want to get him. I want to see him, but at the same time, there's got to be something. There's got to be something like that Flanagan, and this is what happens, right? you hear about all these young great players. We see a little bit of them, but Flanagan's not going to come out and say exactly why not. He's not going to say, oh, well, he's defensively not good enough. Like, look at all these defensive clips.
Yeah.
We don't see that side.
Of course.
And there's always that's a possibility. I've never really. How much have you seen him play? You just seen
No.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. Is he a 7 or is he a 6?
I've heard he's a 7. I've heard he's got a really good kicking game. He's really composed, and apparently he's tough.
Okay, so
Tough,
moving
real
forward,
tough.
Are we going Atkinson? Didn't work, mate. You know,
Well,
it's not
I wouldn't say it's
working.
not working, but he'd be more of a natural 5'8". But that's something you got to sort out later. You just need to. You don't need to, but I feel like it's a good timing for them to give him a taste of it.
How old were you when you made your debut?
No, I was 21.
21, yeah.
As like Rob said, off the bench, I played. I'm going to say between 8 to 10 games that season. Maybe started 1 or 2, and then I went into that next preseason knowing exactly what I needed to do physically and mentally to be ready to go the next year. I had the injury, but I felt like I was ready because I'd tasted it. If I didn't, and you start say they do start him in round 127, that's his first game, then it's difficult, right? Your first season, you're trying to find your way. Your pack's not confident in you. Yeah, you've got
so much that goes into
but
it.
there's so many other. King Tonga might be going great too.
Yeah.
In reserve grade. I know he played first grade on the weekend, but he might deserve his shot. So Flano's that's on Flano and how he wants to deal with that team.
Who have you got in this game?
I think the Dragons win. I think the Cowboys have been good, but I just think they're going to be desperate back at Cogra. They're not a bad footy team. They haven't been miles off.
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I like the Cowboys at the moment. They've just. No, they have. They've
been good. They've been good.
They're
they beat Melbourne last
They're a
week.
way better side than when they started. Like, way better. So, they're on a bit of a roll. But Dragons will be desperate. Tough to win at Cogra.
Would that win against the Melbourne Storm be pretty frustrating for Cowboys fans when you're like, geez, we can compete with these guys?
Yeah, but that's the Cowboys, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah.
For years. They can always score tries. Always. But it's just like, it's so up and down. And that's why, Peyton probably goes like, boys, look at this. But the defense is the biggest thing for the Cowboys. They can score points, not a problem at all. But defensively, and we spoke about a lot of the little areas that not everyone wants to do week in, week out. But it's why Penrith are so good.
Yeah.
So, but no, they're a good side. I think they win.
Did you boys see the story yesterday about Gorden Tallis? Now, we've got the Gorden Tallis derby. I hear he's given a Churchillian-like speech to the Titans through the week. Fire
Is he
up.
really?
No.
That would have been great.
That'd be great, yeah. Do it for me, boys. Do it for me. They're taking on the Bronx, though, but he's got the theatre now at Fox named after him.
I know.
Is it real, though?
Well done.
It's real, yeah, it's real.
You going to name one here after him?
I was thinking we missed opportunity, though. We should have done it at Sunday Simbin the day he came in. We should have had changed the studio, yeah. Well, we missed it now.
Are you all right?
I'm off the pace.
Well,
He's not drinking.
This
is the issue.
You missed the 58 and 98 with James. You missed the Tallis opportunity.
He said to
Yeah,
me
I
before,
know.
he goes, I've never been sober for this long.
Well, I haven't since I was 14
Because I don't know what
years
to do
old.
with myself.
Yeah.
14.
Since I was 14. This is the longest I've gone without drinking.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, I know. Well, I had a
but I
crazy
suppose,
child.
No, it's
mate,
not
when
okay.
you know when you're on TV and stuff, these priorities change, and
Yeah.
he's big time now.
He
I
is
know.
Big time.
Mate, sunrise has got me off the pace. It's got me distracted.
Too
But-
early.
Too early.
The
No, but in all seriousness, this game, I've got a sneaky feeling the Titans going to have a crack and could even win this game.
I'm with you.
I'll bet you anything.
I'm with you, Charlie.
I'll bet you anything. Like both of you right now.
Okay.
You think they can win?
I think they'll
They'll have a
yeah.
crack. They can't win.
I think they can win.
They can't win.
They can't win.
Anyone in the NRL, anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
All right. Payne Haas back, just to let you know.
Is he back,
Yeah.
though? Is he 100% back? I reckon
Even
there's a
if he's
chance
not.
he doesn't play.
Well, if the game's played 10 times, Brisbane win 9.
How
Could
have
be
you
the
worked
one
that
time.
out?
Could be the one time.
Yeah. What's the bet then?
Anything you want. No, I'm just very confident in the Broncos.
Okay. All right. Maybe if the Titans win, you got to do the show in your undies next week.
Yeah.
Is that allowed on YouTube?
Well,
I'm not
yeah,
sure.
okay. Well, what's your?
No, we
Yeah,
don't
well,
know because we're taking
yeah,
the,
we're taking the risk.
10%
Oh, so you don't
chance.
there's nothing.
Yeah. We're
You
taking the risk.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
No, I'll think of
Is
something.
Ilias the answer there? I know they moved Brimson to the centres last week.
No. No, all I'm saying is, at the moment, from what I'm seeing, that, and this is the thing, like, it is hard. There's no offense to you, Lockie, by the way. All I'm saying is, at the moment, from what I'm looking at, the Titans, they're not on the same page, and it's up to Lockie to take control of that team. There was what was the game that we done? Titans, who they play?
No, we did Cronulla. Dolphins.
No, you did Titans Dragons with Bentio.
Yeah, there was a set there, right? And they had, I think it was what was the first Titans game? Not last week, week before.
I'll give it to you. One
yeah,
sec.
give it to me because they had a chance to score and
yeah, that was against the
Cowboys.
Dolphins.
That was against the Dolphins.
Where they had the chance. They were up 14-0. Dolphins came out
yes.
and they had two sets
And
at
they
the
had
end.
two sets on the line.
And they threw the ball over the sideline. I think we were.
That was it, and that's all. I'm going back to that. It was all spine members. I was just looking at them all, and they were looking at each other like the hooker
It was without Jaden Campbell there. That game.
Yeah, and that's
He's
the
a big
thing.
difference.
So that itself, I want Lockie to own that moment more. Like if he's going to own that team, but you're right. Like Lockie's only been there for one preseason. You don't just earn the respect of everyone straight away like that. Unless you literally go in there and you say, boys, this is my team. This is what we're doing. But not a lot of people can do that.
No.
Lockie's coming from a Dragons side. They didn't want him there. So that's in the back of his mind. He's not exactly confident in himself. He wants to make a new, fresh start. He wants to go great, but it's got to gel. You're under a new coach, with a new vision. All the Titans are, they're like, oh, this new coach, what's our identity? They're still trying to find their identity, but I've liked what I've seen from the Titans at stages, but then just a few of those games, it's on the halves to step up and win the game. So
I reckon they should
who
look at
was
playing AJ Brimson at lock.
Lock.
Like a Connor Watson. Wow. He's such a good ball runner. He's a tough kid. He's got
Can he tackle?
he's got great agility around the ruck. Like Connor started as a fullback.
Off the
5'8".
bench or starting lock?
I reckon you could start him off the bench like Connor does for the Roosters. Like Penrith are doing with Cogger.
Yep.
Before he got concussed. I reckon it's saying I don't know if he can do it, but I reckon he'd be good at it. Like he's going to ball play for him through the middle. He's going to run the ball. He's not easy to tackle. He'll have to be adjustment, the defensive load. But I think I like Jalen de Groot too. Like I'd love for him to be out there in the centres of the wing. But this is a long-term thing for Josh Hannay. Like this, the results, he's going to win some this year. He's going to lose a fair few, I think. But he's got to slowly turn the culture of the joint around, turn the attitude. He's done well so far recruitment-wise, getting Tino and Cooper Bye to re-sign and Jaden Campbell. So this is a long-term play for them. But that is an issue. There's an area where they need to sort very quickly is their spine and what they do with people like AJ who they signed him as a half or fullback.
They got a young guy, Zane Harrison there.
Yep.
Good. Had him in the 19s origin last year. He's an out-and-out halfback. Like, he didn't play. He played off the bench 14, but when he, come in and you throw him in for it's actually hard to be the 14 role in a team like that. You don't really know anyone. You don't get the reps. But as soon as he come in, he was taking full control, knew exactly what the game plan was and owned it. So I'm not sure how what Hannay thinks of him, how far away, but I think I've heard that he could be the future there. So it's just when you're giving Lockie every chance now, and because Lockie's played, he's the one there now. But I suppose this is the thing, right? Because they're building. When do you throw a young guy in?
Yeah,
it's a hard one.
This is the hard bit with the Titans are in a different spot to the Dragons because this is Flano's third season, Charlie.
Shane Flanagan's third, yep.
So they probably had that chance to build, and it's just time, pure coincidence timing that Cade Reid comes into the situation now. If he came in 2 years ago, Flano could have managed him through, whereas Flano's probably in the position soon where he's got to take a few risks, whereas Josh Hannay doesn't have to do that now. If he's got a young half who he thinks could be the long-term prospect, he can actually give him time and help develop him a little bit slower because Josh knows he's got a bit of leash.
Has Tino avoided criticism so far this year? It's been very quiet by his standards.
Oh, I don't. I just think Tino's that good a player that we expect him to be brilliant every week. Has he been his damaging best? Definitely not. Tino had an off season where he was a bit in limbo, like he was like a bit going on, new coach. So last week he was better. There was the old Tino coming back, but yeah, I don't think he's avoiding it. I've seen a few things where people have sort of called him out, so maybe that gave him a bit of a
he's been
a pep up
spoken about
last
like,
week.
they're just not spoken about as much as
100%.
Brisbane and the bigger Sydney teams. But I think people have noticed that it has been a slow start, but he's proven a good enough play.
But don't get me wrong. When Origin comes around, for some reason, he'll be playing. It'll be unbelievable.
I don't know if you guys heard Tuesday's episode where Coach Curtis came in with a great take. He's here as well, Coach Curtis out there. He basically has the question for you guys. Well, I'll ask you guys because we've got you in here today. Jock Madden, he played. He's more of a traditional 7. Jock Madden, is that fair? Even though Dewey had the 7 on his back in the game against the Warriors, Jock Madden is a traditional 7. Would the Tigers be better off having Jock Madden and Jerome Luai in the halves and putting Adam Dewey in the centres?
Dewey's wasted in the centres.
Okay.
Wasted. He's going really well at 7. But I'll tell you what, that combination of Dewey and Madden, Dewey looked like one of the best. He played 5'8" on the weekend. He did. Yeah, no doubt. Jock took great control of that team. Love Jock. I actually played with him at the Tigers when I was there because he was there before, and we played some Reggies together when I was doing my best there. The mighty Magpies. He was doing that back then, but he's obviously gone learn his craft a bit more behind Renault and the boys up at the Broncos, and now he's sort of come back, and so good to see him take full control of that game. Great story as well. Did you hear about his grandfather?
No, I haven't. Tell us.
His grandfather passed away that week.
Right.
And he missed the funeral for the game.
Wow.
But Jock said his grandfather would have wanted him to play.
Wow.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
Nice touch, and he had a brilliant game. I'm sure his grandfather would have been super proud. But Jock just, as a natural half does, he played so direct and so square, opening up space. And Dewey was just going, how good's this? The Warriors' edges were in tatters. He defended well. He took short sides. He kicked for over 500 metres, just took full control of the game. And it was interesting because if you know Dewey as a person, you know Dewey much?
No.
Dewey's a very confident guy. And because Dewey's going well, I would have thought Dewey's like, Jock, I got control. You just roam like Luai does. But it was quite the opposite. And for Dewey now, I'd be like, in my own head, how good's this? If he could just open up space. He ran for over 200, Dewey. It was nearly the most run meters by half ever or something. I think it was like second. So, like, it was just...
Reece Walsh in the commentary.
How good is it, boys, though?
Mate, his first 3 touches, he threw passes on the ground. And his fourth was... No, Dewey. His fourth was an intercept, nearly try.
Yeah.
And then he ran the ball 15 times for 200 metres. No, Luai will be there. Coach Curtis. But yeah, I don't know. There might be an option there. Depends. Jock's going to have a month there. He's going to have a month to show what he can do, and then it depends what Benji would want to do with Dewey and where he fits in. But interesting one. Tigers in a good spot.
How good is it that seeing the Tigers have some depth?
Yeah.
No, as a club.
Yeah.
A club that's been struggling for a long time, and talking about being in the headlines, they look comfortable. They all look comfortable. Like 10-0 down over in New Zealand. The Tigers of old. It's 40 to 6.
Yeah, they're the first team to break New Zealand down this year too. Like Warriors played Roosters, Canberra, Newcastle, who are attacking well, and they're the first team to really put points past them.
They're the outsiders this week. Tigers against Parramatta.
That's ridiculous. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Iongi's out too.
Iongi's out. Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous. How? Talk to me. How?
They probably shouldn't be outsiders. No, I still think Para will win.
Do you?
I just think they'll bounce back.
Yeah,
it's what happens at this time of year. Teams, it's hard. You know, I mean, everyone's desperate. You don't want to be starting bad. They'll bounce back. I think Mitch has been a little. I think someone said he's might be carrying a little bit of a foot or knee. I think the Tigers deserve to be favourites for this game. The way they've played to start the year, I just got a feeling Para might. I think Mitch is due for a big one. Jonah due too.
I just like the Tigers.
Yeah.
I do. And just one thing before we leave this, like, look at the Broncos last year. And look, I'm not saying the Tigers are going to go winning the comp. But for the Tigers but the Tigers want to make the 8, and that's what they always talk about. That's where they're at, right? But just to have that backup of when one of the because look, let's face it, Dewey's had some injuries, Jerome's had some injuries. They're going to need Jock a lot. Look at Billy Walters last year, what he done when he went to the Broncos. To have that guy that you go in and literally it's the same, nearly, if not better, like at times. So that's going to be really good for the Tigers moving forward. So if they back up, if they play similar, this is the thing. Consistency has been Tigers' problem for years. If they play like they did against the Warriors, they win. I think they win.
Yeah. Geez, it'll be good for the NRL if the Tigers make the 8.
Don't say it.
It'll be great for the NRL. What about David Riccio, though? Oh, he's obviously does the Tuesday show here. He's written an article basically saying that Benji's done what Ivan Cleary couldn't do, what Michael Maguire couldn't do, and that's get the Tigers in the 8. Mate, they've played 3 games. Settle down.
He wrote that.
Yeah. He said he's on track.
Dave's
Isaac. I'm going to wait. It's a big call.
Dave's crazy.
Dave is mad.
MAD.
Lack
Yeah.
of sleep for Dave, I think.
Yeah, exactly that. He's too busy doing the Channel 7 agenda
He's
setters,
busy,
getting back
busy,
here
man.
Monday, Tuesday morning for this. But great show, boys. Great to see you. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, mate.
Love it.